He goes. This video is going to be a little bit different than my usual content. Why? Because today we're going to be talking about Xerox. In case you don't know who he's and small YouTuber who as of time or writing this has amassed over 9,000 subscribers. He has this cool series called The Search for the Worst Cartoon. Different take on I Hate Everything is the search for the worst series, but instead of talking about live-action movies, he talks about cartoons, so you might be wondering why I decided to this guy. Well, recently he made a video going into his thoughts about Papa's newest film, Prehistoria, and I have some thoughts about it and how it represents his whole channel as a whole. Now I'd want to note that I do not want to start some sort of drama with this guy, nor do I hate him. I just want to express my thoughts on this video.
I have deliberately stayed silent about this movie for a reason. I didn't know if I could go over how I truly feel about this movie's announcement and still have my YouTube career intact after making my thoughts on the movie public. I will try my absolute hardest to contain my thoughts on this movie without going overboard. It's fun to be harsh, it's fun to take things too far, but just because it's fun, just because it feels good, doesn't mean it's worth it. This isn't anger that's exaggerated for comedic purposes, like what you'd see in an old AVGN or Nostalgia Critic video. This isn't shoot them with the dehydration gun, or security system takes control of Squidward's house and begins attacking the city. This isn't like that. This is raw, pure, genuine hatred that I feel towards a piece of media, towards the unfortunately inevitable existence of a piece of media, towards everything that that piece of media stands for, everything that that piece of media represents, the implications that come from the existence of this piece of media.
Damn dude, what the hell this movie did to you, to the point you sound like you're going to rip your hair off.
This is the only video I will ever make on this movie. Do not ask me to review this movie when it comes out. If it ever comes out, I will ignore it. Any trailers for the movie come out, I will ignore the trailers. The movie gets good reviews from critics, I will ignore the reviews. The movie finally comes out in theaters, I will ignore the movie. There is nothing,
Damn,
I repeat,
dude,
nothing you can do to convince me
you?
to take time out of my day, out of my life, and watch this movie when it comes out, regardless of whether I cough up the money and see it in theaters, or I sail the 7 seas in order to watch it.
Yeah, sure buddy, sure.
I don't wish to get cocky when it comes to how this movie will perform critically and or commercially. I don't want to predict that this movie will bomb at the box office and or receive negative reviews. Obviously, that is my preferred outcome for this movie, but I know better than to delude myself into thinking that that outcome is 100% guaranteed to happen. In the event that this movie receives good reviews from critics and or becomes a box office success, well, there's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. I would still stand by my personal beliefs towards this movie. This movie being successful and making a lot of money would not change the way that I look at this movie. It would not change how I feel about this movie. It would not change what this movie means to me. It would not change what this movie represents. It would not change what this movie stands for. It is extremely rare for me to actively feel this way about a piece of media. A movie, a cartoon, a video game, you name it. Almost nothing that I have reviewed, nothing that I ever will review, comes close to how I feel about this thing. There's a piece of media being bad, and then there's a piece of media insulting and offending me on a deeply personal level with just its sheer existence alone, with just the idea that it will exist at some point in the future, and there is nothing I can do about it.
Sheesh dude. Did this movie ran over your dog and shat on its corpse? Like I hate Vivis work as much as the next person, but damn dude, you're acting like this movie burned down your house with the wife and kids inside it.
I feel that I've delayed the inevitable long enough.
You sure have.
Allow me to go over what has disgusted me to this extent. June 22nd, 2026. The Annecy Animation Festival is being held. Several major animation studios come together to announce new animated films coming soon, including Warner Bros. Among the many projects that Warner Bros. Announced at the festival was one that stood out and surprised many people, an original prehistoric fantasy musical called Preshistoria. Now obviously, this wasn't the only movie announced by Warner Bros. At the festival, and seeing how they've already scheduled several movies for 2027 and 2028, it could potentially be a while before this movie comes out. Again, that's assuming it even comes out. The real shocker came from who was directing and writing the movie. Preshistoria will be the directorial debut of Vivian Medrano, better known as Vivzipop, the creator of the Helliverse, which consists of 2 cartoons, Has Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss. Since I began my animation journey, my biggest dream was to be part of a feature film. Now to be creating an original story that I have been holding for years with Warner Bros. Pictures Animation, a studio whose characters and stories have been a huge part of my life, is truly a dream come true. I'm so excited to share this fossil fantasy world with everyone, Medrano was quoted as saying, in regards to the project. Now considering the fact that I am a frequent critic of Medrano's work,
Yee, and you're not the only one.
some of you might be surprised as to why I've been staying completely silent about this movie until now. Again, I didn't know if I could make a video going over my thoughts on this announcement and still retain my YouTube career after making such a video. I am trying to keep things as tame as possible in regards to what I think about this movie. Again, there are no overreactions, there's no hyperbole, nothing I say in this video is being exaggerated for comedic purposes. This is how I truly, genuinely feel about this movie. Yes, it is that serious. Yes, it did impact me that much. I've made it clear before in the past that my mental health hasn't been all that great for the last year or so. After suffering an abhorrent 2025, I am happy to say that things have gotten considerably better in 2026. That doesn't mean that things are perfect, unfortunately. I have always suffered from anger issues. I have a really bad temper where, under the right circumstances, stuff that might be small and insignificant to other people can set me off and put me in a pissed off and frustrated mood very easily. I had suffered a lot of these mental episodes and outbursts all throughout 2025. They have thankfully slowed down in 2026, but they can still happen though. Again, under the right circumstances, I can go ballistic very easily. On the day of June 22nd, 2026, on the day of the Annecy Film Festival, on the day that Preshistoria was announced, I had suffered another mental episode. This one being a particularly nasty episode. I don't feel comfortable going over the specific details of the episode and everything that led to it happening, but it happened at the last place that I would ever want to suffer a mental episode at. It was at the worst possible place for me to suffer a mental episode at. I'm going to admit that the announcements of Preshistoria played a part in the episode happening. Please keep in mind that it wasn't the main thing that caused the episode to happen. It wasn't the only thing that caused the episode to happen. There were several other factors that led to the episode happening, but the announcement of Preshistoria definitely contributed to it happening. I'm not going to pretend that it was a coincidence, the fact that I suffered a mental episode the same day Preshistoria was announced. No, I will acknowledge and admit that Preshistoria contributed to the mental episode happening, even if it wasn't the only reason why it happened. It was an episode that could have very easily been prevented in so many different ways. If this movie had been announced just a day later on June 23rd, it would have made a huge difference. If my personal life on June 22nd, if what I was doing on that day had turned out differently, if it happened on a different day after Preshistoria, then maybe I wouldn't have felt so strongly about Prehistoria's announcement. Again, my mental episodes can very easily get triggered under the right circumstances. The right circumstances were there on June 22nd. I wish the episode never happened. I truly do. I would very likely have a more normal outlook on Preshistoria had the episode never happened. Again, no overreactions, no hyperbole. I'm not saying any of this to be funny. I am 100% serious when I say this stuff. This thing destroyed me. It broke me on the inside. I was in an awful mood for the rest of that day. It was the first time in a while I had suffered an episode, and considering one of the key factors why the episode happened, I was concerned that I would relapse and the episodes would become more common again. I am happy to say that as of making this video, no further episodes have happened, but I was in a very rough mental state for the rest of that whole week. I look at this thing as a motivation killer. Genuinely, I'm serious about this. I could be having a normal day, and then I get reminded of this thing's existence, and all of a sudden, that good mood that I had completely disappears. I am unable to look at this thing without thinking about how my life was just a few years ago in 2024, when I was still in a healthy mental state. I am unable to look at this thing without thinking of that day, June 22nd, 2026, without thinking of the mental episode that I suffered that day.
Look, I don't want to be mean about this, but my brother and Chris, you're blaming a film that I am pretty sure wasn't in any kind of development for whatever happened in your life before it got ruined. Like take a chill pill and go take a breather or something.
I don't look at Preshistoria as a movie. I look at Preshistoria as a reminder of my failure. This movie will exist to spite me. It will exist to taunt me. It will exist as a cruel reminder of what could have been for my future had things turned out differently in so many ways.
Bro, what the fuck did this movie did to you? You're acting like this movie ruined your life or something. But let us continue, I suppose.
There was a brief period of time in the 2020s where I was actually happy, that being the year 2024. My mental health was actually in a normal state. I was actually looking forward to the future. I was given an amazing opportunity for my future, and then something happened at the end of 2024, and it ruined whatever motivation I once had for this opportunity. I kept clinging onto this opportunity for a majority of 2025, pretending that things were still the same way that they were in 2024, before I finally accepted the reality of things and let go of that opportunity. Since then, I've been given opportunities that I don't belong in, opportunities that are massive downgrades from what I used to have, and now they will be made even worse by this thing right here. As stated before, this is the only video I will ever make on this movie. I refuse to review this thing when it comes out, if it comes out. I refuse to give my money to something that has offended me to this extent with just the idea that it will exist at some point in the future. I refuse to even sail the 7 seas for this movie. I am not watching or reviewing this movie when it comes out. Period. I know there's gonna be people who will tell me, bro, calm down, it's just a movie. It's not healthy to hate something to this extent. And you know what? You're right.
Yeah, they are right. I hate Vipsy's work as much as the next guy, but even I know that there is such a thing as taking things too far, and considering the fact that you made 13 videos on the Helliverse, some of which goes over the 1 hour mark, these people have a point.
It is unhealthy for me to feel this strongly about Preshistoria. That's exactly why I refuse to review this thing when it comes out. That's exactly why this is the only video I will ever make on this thing. Not only because of how much this movie's existence personally offends me, but also because of my mental health. I put out a video very recently going over Barbie and Oppenheimer, 2 movies that I used to hate on to an unhealthy extent for reasons relating to my mental health. Whenever I would suffer a mental episode in 2025, I would use these 2 movies as punching bags, basically, as an unhealthy way to cope with my personal life at the time. Eventually, I was able to move past the hatred that I once felt for these 2 movies, and now I am trying to avoid having something similar happen with Preshistoria. I mean, in all fairness, there's a bit more validity to having this happen with Preshistoria when compared to with Barbenheimer, but even then, I refuse to take that risk. I don't want things to happen again. I don't want the same thing to happen a second time. I will try my hardest to not acknowledge the existence of this movie to the best I can. I understand that this will change absolutely nothing about the movie itself. Covering my ears and closing my eyes won't change the fact that the movie is getting made. I also understand that this will be hard for me to do, especially once we get closer to the release of the movie. I would have to try my hardest to avoid seeing the trailers for this thing. I would have to deliberately arrive late to every animated movie I would go and see around that time, just to avoid catching even a single glimpse of this movie via trailer. But it's better than excessively hating on it non-stop. I'd rather have all of the anger and hatred that I feel towards this movie be contained within this one singular video that you are currently watching. I don't care about the money. I don't care about the views. I don't care about the attention. None of that is worth destroying my mental health over the existence of this movie.
Hey, that is great. If you actually keep your promise of not reviewing this movie, that is great. I know it has fun to shit on whatever is popular and stuff, and I do that too from time to time. But all that matters is that you keep your sanity.
I will still continue to make videos on Has-Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss. I had to think non-stop if I wanted to do that or not shortly after this movie was announced. The first clip for Hell of a Boss Season 3 was released a few days after Preshistoria was announced, and it made me question if it was even worth it to make a video on Hell of a Boss Season 3, or any future Helliverse content for that matter. I made a video going over how I didn't know if I would review Hell of a Boss Season 3. That video was made because of Preshistoria. I didn't make it explicitly clear, but Preshistoria played a huge part in me making that video. It played a huge part in me questioning if I should review Hell of a Boss Season 3 or any future seasons for Has-Been Hotel or Hell of a Boss. I can criticize the swearing and sex jokes in these shows all I want. I could go on and on and on about the awful tonal shifts, how these shows do a terrible job at balancing between being raunchy comedies and being serious dramas. I could do all of that to my heart's desire. None of it would change the fact that this movie is getting made. None of it would change the fact that Vivian Medrano is directing and writing a feature film that will be shown on hundreds if not thousands of big screens all around the world. yet I persist forward with the Helliverse videos despite that. Why? I don't know. I reviewed the first 2 seasons for these shows each, and I think it's a bit too late for me to jump ship, unfortunately. Even though I will continue to review the Helliverse, I will not review Prehistoria, no matter what, nor will I reference or acknowledge it in any way in all future videos that I make, Helliverse or not. I've already cracked a few jokes about it in previous videos, but that will no longer be happening going forward. If you go and see Prehistoria in theaters, when it comes out, if it ever comes out, I will think less of you as a person. I know people are gonna think, oh, I'm just joking, I'm just copying what Schaeferless said about the Moana remake. No, I'm serious about all of this. I'm being 100% genuine about this. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I will think less of you as a person if you decide to give your money to this movie. I don't care what excuse you come up with. I don't care if the movie is original. I don't care if the movie is 2D animated. I don't care if the movie is being directed by an indie creator. There is no excuse you could come up with that would justify seeing this movie in theaters. No excuse that would cause me to not think less of you as a person for seeing this movie in theaters. Why on earth would I ever prioritize the fact that this movie is original and 2D animated over the fact that I suffered a really bad mental episode in part because of this movie? Why would I ever prioritize the fact that this movie is original and 2D animated over the fact that this movie's existence insulted and offended me on a deeply personal level?
I have no words for this one. Like, bro, you and I know that this movie is going to suck ass. You know it. I know it. Even my dog knows it. I don't even have a dog. But to say that you'll think less of a person just because of the fact that they want to see it, for whatever reason, is insane.
If there's anyone watching this video that has kids, or plans on having kids in the future, in the event that anyone watching this video has kids around the time this movie comes out, and these kids want you to take them to see this movie, just tell them no. I don't care how much they scream and cry and whine about how much they want to see this movie, you stay home and you watch Bluey or SpongeBob or whatever with them, and that's final. It's okay to say no to your child. Don't cave in. Don't give in to their demands. Please, for the love of God, don't take your kids to see this movie. Don't go and see this movie, even if you don't have kids. If you truly cared about animation or film as art forms, like I do, if you were as passionate about animation and film as I am, you would not go and see or support this movie in any way, shape, or form. Do not watch this movie. Do not give your hard-earned money to Little Miss swearing and sex jokes over here. Do not give her the false idea that she in any way deserves to have the career or success that she currently has. Do not further convince her that she deserves to have this opportunity. Do not give her even more opportunities that she doesn't deserve to have. Please, for the love of God, do not do any of this. I don't hate Vivian Medrano as a person. I hate when people get success and acclaim that they quite frankly don't deserve. I have yet to watch a single project from Vivian Medrano that made me think, ah yes, I sure am glad that of the many indie creators out there, she was the one to make it big. She was the one to get this massive, incredible opportunity. Acknowledging and believing that Vivian Medrano doesn't deserve to have a successful career in animation, or I guess film now as well, is not harassment. No matter what you think, no matter what you say, it's not harassment, it's not bullying, it is none of those things. Even if this movie was devoid of the problems that I have with the Helliverse, I would still hate this movie simply because of what it represents, what it stands for, the implications that come from the fact that this is a real movie that's getting made, a real movie that will happen in the future. It would still disgust me to no end, even if the movie had 0 swear words or sex jokes in it. They say you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but when it comes to something like this, I unfortunately have no other choice. I'm sorry. I just know for a fact that nobody would have a problem with everything that I say in this video if I was saying this exact same stuff about the live-action Disney remakes or whatever. If Velma got uncancelled and was renewed for a 3rd season, and I was saying all of this stuff towards it, nobody would care or have a problem with it. If I said this stuff about the live-action Disney remakes, everyone would be like, yeah bro, I agree, you're spitting facts right now, you're spitting the truth. Preach, brother, preach. But because I'm saying this stuff about Prehistoria, because I'm saying this stuff about a Vivzy Pop project, all of a sudden, I'm taking things too far, and I'm overreacting, and I'm being unnecessarily harsh towards this movie. Nobody would have a problem if I was saying this stuff about the live-action Disney remakes, but then they have a problem with me saying this stuff about Prehistoria, simply because it's original, and it's 2D animated, and it's gonna be directed by an indie creator, none of which are 100% guarantees that the movie will turn out good in any way, by the way, unless our standards have just gotten that low. You know, Food Fight is an original movie, the animated Titanic movies are both 2D animated, I guess that means they're both good movies now all of a sudden. No, that's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. I'm sorry. This movie could be original and 2D animated, or it could be attached to an IP and CG animated. I would still hate it and feel disgusted by its inevitable existence regardless. I don't care how nostalgic you are for the Disney Renaissance. Supporting and trying to bring back 2D animation is not worth it if it also requires having to support this movie. I wholeheartedly, unironically believe that Prehistoria is more disrespectful and more insulting to animation as an art form, to film as an art form, than any live-action Disney remake could ever hope to be. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Gun to my head, I would give all of my money to whatever live-action remake slop Disney puts out before I would ever consider giving even a single penny to Prehistoria. The Snow White remake is less insulting to animation and film as art forms than Prehistoria. The Moana remake wishes that it had even a fraction, even 1% of the disrespect that Prehistoria has towards animation and film. The live-action Disney remakes are many things: corporate, soulless, unnecessary, boring, ugly, inferior to the original animated movies, the list goes on. But despite that, none of them, not a single one of these live-action Disney remakes, insult and offend me the same way Prehistoria does. Again, no hyperbole, no over-exaggerations. I am not saying any of this to be a funny, edgy contrarian or whatever. I truly mean all of this from the bottom of my heart. No matter how bad the live-action Disney remakes may be, none of them have ever offended or insulted me on a deeply personal level. None of them have ever played a part in me suffering any mental episode. I have never suffered a really bad mental episode that happened in part because of the Snow White remake or the Moana remake. I'm just saying. As far as I'm concerned, Prehistoria is on par with Food Fight, Norm of the North, the Emoji Movie, the animated Titanic movies, and every Video Brinquedo movie. I don't care. I'm not saying this to be a troll. I am being 100% genuine. This is what I unironically believe in. That's how I truly feel about this thing. I actually kinda hate this movie more than any of those other movies in a technical way. Something like Food Fight is obviously much worse than Prehistoria in every single possible way objectively, but again, just like with the live-action Disney remakes, as awful and offensive as Food Fight was to me, it didn't offend me on a personal level. I have never suffered a really bad mental episode that partially happened because of Food Fight. I'm just saying once again. That is all that I will ever say about Prehistoria. I feel that I've made my thoughts on Prehistoria very clear right now. I don't care about the plot of this movie. I don't care if this movie is 2D animated. I don't care if this movie is completely original. I don't care if this movie gets good reviews. I don't care about any of that. There is nothing you can do to convince me to see this movie and give it a chance. I refuse to watch or review Prehistoria because I care about animation, because I care about cinema, because I care about my own mental health. I don't care if you think this video was harsh. Y'all wanted to know my thoughts on Prehistoria. I just gave y'all my thoughts on Prehistoria. I guarantee you none of y'all would care if I or any other cartoon YouTuber said this exact same stuff about Velma or Teen Titans Go or the live-action Disney remakes or whatever. If it's okay for other cartoon YouTubers to feel this strongly about the live-action Disney remakes, then it's okay for me to feel this strongly about Prehistoria. Let's not have double standards, folks. Let's not have double standards. As mentioned before, this will be the only video I will ever make on Prehistoria. I will never make a follow-up video to this, nor will I ever acknowledge Prehistoria's existence ever again in any future video that I make, so there's even less of a reason to get mad at me for being this harsh and this scathing towards this movie than there already is. Things will return back to normal in my next video, whatever it may be. Nothing in this video will ever be acknowledged again in any future video that I make. None of my future Helliverse videos will acknowledge anything that was referenced in this video. It will be like this video never even happened. For a brief period of time, this will be the most recent video I have put out. Several days from now, this will become the second or third most recent video I have put out. A month from now, this video will be buried underneath whatever subsequent videos I put out, dropping further and further down into the vast ocean of videos I have made as I continue to put out more and more videos. And in none of these subsequent videos would I ever reference or even once acknowledge what was said in this video or the main topic of this video. It will all just be kept within this one video, and that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Anyways, that's about it. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to like, and if you're new to the channel, maybe consider subscribing, as it would be greatly appreciated. Thank you everyone for watching this video, and I will see y'all next time. Goodbye.
So it seems like whatever happened in his life, it really affected him. Like, really affected him. Look, I hate the Zipa password as much as the next person, but my boy, get off the internet, go outside, hang out with your friends or family. I am genuinely concerned about you, like bro, we haven't even seen the trailer yet. And you, that is all I have to say about this video. I know this video was different than my usual content, and sorry if this video was shit, or I didn't nearly say enough stuff in the video, but I was genuinely so shocked about this whole video that I just had to make this. Again, I hate to repeat myself, but I didn't make this video just to start so stupid YouTube drama or anything. And Cyrex, if you are watching this for whatever reason, please, please, please take a break from the internet. And you, that is all I have to say to this, and have a good day.